Hey everybody, haven't done a video in a little while. Took a break, got my health back in check, got a bunch of stuff taken care of. Took care of a lot of snow blowers. These are all ready for pickup. I abandoned the Honda project. Got a little Indian mini bike to work on. That'll be fun. But anywho, don't look at the license plate. Actually, I don't care. Anyways, I'm out here working on my Kawasaki Concours. I've done a couple little videos on it already. I absolutely love this bike. I've been doing a lot of little work to it. Wiring issues, stuff like that. Sorted out a bunch of the wiring that was up in here. Got the handlebars put back into a factory setting. Before they were kind of angled more in. I hated it. Let's see. Fixed all the battery connections. Did more wiring under the seat. Reloomed some of the stuff going forward. I did a bunch of stuff to it already. And I also found out a bunch of other nice things about it. Figured out why the cruise control doesn't work. The pull chain that pulls on the carbs is broken. So I got one of those ordered. I'll probably do a video on that. And I also found out that this has the 2-minute jet mod in the air box, which you replace the jets and the carbs, and then you cut a hole in your air box and stuff some foam in. Very well known thing for Kawasaki Concours. And then it also has overflow tubes added by Should Have Been Engineering, which is a very nice upgrade that I recommend every Kawasaki Concours owner does. So this bike has a lot more upgrades than I thought. And I was going to take it out on the freeway yesterday because once I got it up to 70 miles an hour, wherever my RPM is will tell me if this thing had the 7th gear mod, which is a gearing change in the rear end. Because anyone that rides one of these knows that you always, every once in a while, catch yourself trying to shift into 7th gear. The gearing ratio on these, it's revving pretty high when you're cruising down the freeway. It's not terrible, but it's noticeable. They're geared awful tall. So first gear is like a granddaddy low. This thing would tow a car out of a ditch if you really needed it to. Anyways, so I was going to take it out on the freeway, and I noticed the rear tire seemed a little low, so I went to air it up, and as soon as I touched the air nozzle to it, the valve stem kind of cocked a little bit and it spewed out all the air. So I kind of avoided a disaster. And what's really irritating is this thing just had new tires put on at the dealership when I bought it. So what I'm going to be doing here is removing the rear wheel. And I'm not going to say the dealership I bought this from. They're well known for selling cheap bikes, and they do the absolute bare minimum to them before they sell them. And I'm going to be taking it to a place called Don and Roy's over in Brookfield. That's where I bought my first DRZ 400. That's where I've had a lot of service work done over the years. Great group of guys, very knowledgeable, very fair, and they actually take pride in selling quality. Now, granted, if a place that knew what the hell they were doing had this bike, they would have sold it for a lot more than they did because of the upgrades, mods, and all that stuff they've been done to it. But in the end, I got it for a great deal. I'm still happy with it. Just not happy with the fact that my rear tire went flat, and if that had happened on the freeway, it could have proved fatal. So, without further ado, I'm going to be pulling off the rear wheel here, and I'll kind of bring you guys along for the journey. The easiest way to do it on these bikes, there's ways you can do it without using wood and stuff. You would remove the mufflers and remove the tail, pull the rear end apart, and then pull that out. The easy way to do it, you pop out one of the bolts from the rear suspension, the wheel drops down. That way you can get the axle out without removing the mufflers. And then you actually have enough clearance as well where you don't have to take off the tail. Then you remove this bolt here. So once you have the axle out, you can lift the caliper up and out of the way. Shimmy the wheel over because you'll have that spacer out. Shimmy the wheel over, drops down, and out it goes. Easy peasy. So let me gather up some tools. Let's get it taken care of. Now I know this is an absolutely terrible shot, but I can't get the bike any higher and I can't get the camera any lower. But the 17mm on one side, on the bolt, the nut is a 19. Got the wrench facing me. Should go alright. Easy peasy. Hopefully it goes out easy enough. Alright. Now it's supporting the weight of the bike right now. So that's why this board will actually be kind of handy. Ugh. There's going to be a lot of old man noises happening here. Just an FYI. Because I'm not getting any younger. Even though I'm not that old to begin with. Lift it up a little bit. Bring her on down. And I like to leave it laying on the board. And then pop that bolt right back in so none of the needle bearings come out of place or get dirty. And leave it laying on the board for the time being. Because it's not going to be all the way, and I just don't want to hyperextend or damage the U-joint anyway. So let's leave it like that for the time being. Next is going to be to start pulling out the axle bolt. So we're going to need a pliers and figure out what size nut that is. Should be easy enough. Alright. Can't find my other needle nose. I'm just stuck with this one. This probably has to be the weakest cotter pin I've ever had to remove. Look at that. I'm replacing that. Let's see. Grab some more wrenches. For the other side, I'm going to use my adjustable metric crescent wrench. And this side is a 27 millimeter. Just wanted a wrench that was a little bit longer so you can reach around like that. Alrighty. Put that nut back on there a little bit. Grab my mallet. Wherever did I leave it? And there's standing water in my garage, which I'm not happy about. Something that happens every spring. As I mentioned, not happy about it. But it happens. Alrighty. Before I pull that all the way out, next I'm going to remove this top bolt and then lift the caliper up and out of there. Alright, for 14 mil on the back, 17 on this side. Oh boy. I mean, I understand it's your rear brake, but that's tight. Oh, there we go. If I was smart, I'd go get my ratchet wrenches. I'll have a smart moment. I think it's the first time I've actually ever used my 17 mil ratcheting wrench. But these things are like the best thing ever. I don't know how I'd get half the jobs that get done without a ratchet wrench. Whoa, careful there. Almost lost you. I was worried. Don't ever make me worry like that again. I promise I won't do that again either. Alright. That up out of the way. Yeah. Oh yeah, I won't lift out. The axle's still in. Durr. Let's see how much it's gonna fight me. Oh, all the way. That's how much. Let's see here. All right. I see what game you're playing. There we go. Leave that dust seal with that. Pull that axle all the way out. Set that in like the only dry spot in this garage. Hey, look at that. Standing water everywhere. Drives me bonkers. Shit's gonna fall off anyway. Alright. Now, should be able to come over here. Lift that brake caliper out. Kind of move that carefully off to the side. Remove the spacer from the inside. And we are about ready to remove this rear wheel. Alright, so axle, spacer, all that other stuff is out. Now, I pulled the 2x4 out from underneath it because you're going to need every bit of room you can get now that it's all the way loose. Pop it over this way. Comes right off the final drive. And because my tire's flat, there's a good chance it might be able to sneak right past the final drive without having to remove it. It's going to be tight though. Okay, oh, careful fender. There we go. When the tire's flat, sometimes you can get away without loosening the final drive. In the manual, it actually tells you to remove that entirely, but for laziness sake, I left it. Tire's flat, I mean, it's all squish. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to get all my parts and tools cleaned up and put away, and got to run over to Don and Roy's.